PC MMO players might not enjoy mobile MMOs, but the market for mobile MMOs, especially with the overwhelming success of Genshin Impact several years ago, and more recently Wuthering Waves, has absolutely exploded. Mobile MMOs have already overtaken PC MMOs and are the true evolution of the genre. Like it or not, there are more mobile MMOs coming out in 2025 than there are PC MMOs coming out in the next decade. But which, if any, of the currently available mobile MMOs are worth playing right now, beginning 2025? Well, let's take a look. I will preface this by stating that I will not be including trash games like Lineage Mobile, Blade and Soul Mobile, or any other Walmart-style MMO. These are MMOs that are actually worth playing. Now let's jump in. Let's kickstart this off with Tower Fantasy, arguably one of the best cross-platform MMOs on the market. It features full action combat and enormous full open world, decent female characters. Males really make me want to throw up whenever I see them. The females, however, especially the more recent ones, yeah, you could tell that they have definitely taken a new direction for the game, focusing much more on the plot aspect of characters, which we're all more than happy to enjoy and appreciate in the comfort and safety of our own home. Anyway, it is definitely one of the more unique games out there currently and is by far one of the highest quality. Once Human is one of 2024's biggest online releases and successes, a cross-platform MMO that nobody expected to be as fun or entertaining as it is. It features full action combat along with third-person shooter elements. Granted, the characters look like crap, but this isn't a game about characters. This is a game about murder, death, destruction, hopelessness. It's very narrative driven and has an enormous open world as well. Easily one of the better MMOs with mobile functionality that has launched in the last few years. Toram Online has been one of the longest running successes of the last decade. It was a mobile MMO exclusively until a PC port was released more recently. It's a traditional point and click tab target MMO with a cute, very dated, but cute, admittedly, aesthetic. It has a very large world, but it is entirely segregated, meaning that there are loading screen separating areas. If you want a relatively non-pay-to-win mobile experience, then this right here is it. Gran Saga released just a couple months ago globally and was met with moderate enthusiasm. It is a beautiful MMO. The characters look great, the animations look good, it is cross-platform compatible. Unfortunately, combat is pretty much auto. You can definitely control aspects of each encounter to an extent if you really want to, but it's not really worth doing so, since the game was built around autoplay in mind. This was honestly a very beautiful, very fun mobile MMO, but on PC, if we're comparing this with other exclusively PC MMOs, it is definitely much more limiting and not nearly as high quality. I was always a fan of AdventureQuest. I used to play this on my browser when I was younger. I remember the old ads too. AdventureQuest World, the game that plays in your browser. I played this a lot when I was younger and then transitioned over to playing it on PC after years. Admittedly, I never played the mobile port, but it is just that, a port, and therefore is equally as enjoyable and comical as it has ever been. AdventureQuest 3D is one of the rare MMOs that do not take itself seriously, rather focusing on making a fun game instead, which I appreciate. I hate The Legend of Neverland as a gacha game, but I cannot deny that it is a pretty decent mobile MMO. It is essentially what Genshin Impact would be if it were a tab target MMO. I feel like the devs, they saw Genshin Impact and then they attempted to replicate it visually and then just made it into a relatively simple game with a lot of complex mechanics. Honestly, if you like anime games and you want an easy MMO, this is not a bad bet. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. One of the very first AAA mobile MMOs, Black Desert Mobile. The mobile, I wouldn't say port, more like transition to a mobile platform with certain gameplay mechanics rebuilt and redesigned for this platform. It has good action combat, great 3D character models, fantastic environments. Honestly, much like Black Desert Online, Black Desert Mobile is at the top of its game and subsequently genre. Albion Online is one of the best free-to-play PC MMORPGs. After achieving incredible success on PC, the devs decided to port the game over to mobile. They didn't recreate the game as a separate entity, rather, they opted to have a port that was playable on mobile. I can't say I've ever had the pleasure of playing it on a mobile device, but I have heard from others that while it is a little bit simpler, a little bit clunkier, it is still one of the best mobile MMO experiences right now. I love Wakfu. I love Dofus. So when I got to play Dofus Touch last year at launch, I was sponsored for that, by the way. Shout out to the devs. I was ecstatic. This is a tactical mobile MMO that is absolutely phenomenal if you're a fan of strategy games. It plays very different to what we're used to in the genre. It has many different worlds that we can explore in the form of islands, lots of competitive content, dungeons. I think this might just be the game I've had the most fun with and simultaneously been the most frustrated with as well. This is a one-of-a-kind MMO that deserves its place here in this list. Summoner's War Chronicles is pretty much the Legend of Neverland, but cuter, with better graphics, a higher budget, and less of a Genshin clone. It has more of an identity. It has the same combat, it has the same anime style, the same world and exploration as the Legend of Neverland. You could honestly opt for the former game, 100%, but this is a higher quality version of it that is more recent and is part of the larger Summoner's War franchise. Do you like MapleStory? Because MapleStory M is, well, essentially just MapleStory on mobile. That is it. There's no need to elaborate on it any further than that one simple statement. It's literally just MapleStory on mobile. And I think that is what makes this game so damn good as a mobile MMO. Ragnarok M is a complete rebuild of the original Ragnarok MMO. It has new graphics, it has a new tab target, point and click combat style, an entirely new world. Everything about this game has been rebuilt from the ground up, for better or worse. It is much simpler. It lacks a lot of the complex mechanics and mechanisms that made Ragnarok so fun, a lot of the deeper, more complex class trees, and it is much more auto-friendly. But it definitely captures the essence of the old Ragnarok MMO. It has a segregated world, but many of the zones you no doubt recall if you played the original 2 decades ago. Yeah, we're all really old. RuneScape Mobile is exactly like Albion Mobile. It was a game built for PC that transitioned over to a mobile compatible build that allowed for mobile functionality, bolstering its already dedicated player base. I've never enjoyed RuneScape personally, but I cannot deny its quality, the devs' perseverance, and the sheer popularity among MMO players and its community. Easily one of the highest quality best titles on mobile that every MMO player, PC and mobile alike, should play. If you want a relatively non-pay-to-win old-school MMO experience on mobile, this right here is it. And that is it, my list of mobile, or at the very least mobile compatible MMORPGs to play in 2025 if you're looking for something to play on the fly. Hopefully this list right here helps you find something fun to waste some time in. Hey, where do you think you're going? I see what you're doing there. I see you navigating on over, scrolling on over to that X button. Don't you dare. What I need you to do is take a moment and click one of the videos that are about to appear as soon as I'm done talking. And trust me, you're gonna wanna.